Today my topic is about wood defect. Okay. Defect in wood can be broadly classified into two categories, which are as follow. First, natural defect, which is knot, shakes, cross-grain, compression. Number two is other than natural defect, internal factor. Definition: natural defect. Natural defects are defects that occur within the growing tree and which can influence the strength and visual appearance of the surface of the timber. They are sometimes referred to as structural defect. Most structural or natural defects have little effect on the growing tree, but they can degrade the timber cut from it. Not all of trees suitable for structural use than those that are must conform to certain quality check before it is acceptable for use in the building industry. Structural defect: knot, shakes, wily edge, action bark, growing red, reaction pocket. There are other defects which will affect the use and acceptability of timber. These defects are usually the result of incorrect seasoning method or fungal and insect attack. Alright, you guys can see at the picture, which is we have knot, wall edge, split, across bark, cup shake, head shake, red of throat. Knots. Knots are formed as a result of the tree habit from forming branches. All branches are an integral part of the trunk of the tree, and when the tree is cut and covered into timber, the branches are exposed on the face of the timber. There are two kinds of knot, live knot and dead knot. Live knot. Live knots are knots which are bound into the surrounding wood. They are tightly encased and do not contain any rod or dead knot. Next, dead knots. Dead knots are knots which spread from the surrounding wood by the bark of the branch which one protect it. They are usually the result of the match branch which have died and become entangled with the trunk over the years. Very often, some of these knots become loose in their socket and are known as losing dead knot. The type of knot are potentially hazard when mashing timber as they often disintegrate and fly out of the machine, sometimes causing injury to the eyes. Alright. Shakes. Shakes are large cracks in the log caused by uneven stress being set up, which might increase as the timber dries. Shakes follow the two main directions of weakness in the timber. First, between the cross ring. Second, along the line of the rail. Alright. Shakes accrue in the growing tree at the time of filling, during dry or seasoning. There are two main types of shake: head or star shake, ring or cup shake. Alright. Head shake. Wood tissue spread to uneven stress forming a crack. Star shake. This occurs where several shakes radiate from the central region. Ring or cup shake. This type of shake follows the line of the growth ring. The split occurs between two growing and is the result of uncontrolled seasoning. Internal factor. Type of internal defect: warping. The distortion in convert timber cause departure from its original plant, usually during seasoning period, is called warping. Warping can be clapping, bowing, twisting. Number 2, check, split and shakes. These are the example of separation of ruptures of the wood along the grain. These three from differ in whether the crack is confined to the interior of the wood or extend to the surface. Number 3, stain. Fungi causing stain in wood. When it feeds only on food material stored in the sapwood. In the case fungi do not attack the hurt wood, which normally does not contain food material with the cell. Stain defect does not affect strength properties of wood, for example, citrosities. Number 4, decay. This is observed due to wood destroying or wood rotting fungus of wood. These fungi normally cell wall material and break down the cell structure and enzymatic activities. Decay fungi attack both sapwood and hardwood. This defect reduces the strength properties of wood. Number 5, insect. Insect browse the termite together, constitute one of the most destructive biological agents causing defect in timber. Some insect infest standing trees, other infest fells long before conversion or convert timber. The damage is visible in the form of tunnel and wood dust packs galleries in timbers. Alright, I will give the next topic to my partner, which is Hakim Daniel.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hakim Daniel bin Rosman, and now I will continue the presentation. Okay, first I want to tell about the general characteristic of wood preservative. And the first, they must be toxic to fungi, pests and marine organisms. Number 2, they must be free from objectionable properties in use and handling. The number 3, they have to possess satisfactory properties with permanence under the condition for which they are recommended for use. Number 4, they should not have corrosive properties, and the number 5, they should not be expensive. Okay, now go to preserving timber treatment. Coal tar creosote. Coal tar creosote is greenish brown liquid with different degrees of darkness, viscosity and fluorescence depending on how it is made. When freshly made, the creosote is a yellow oil with a greenish taste and highly fluorescent, and the fluorescence increased by exposure to air and light. After settling, the oil is dark green by reflected light and dark red by transmit light. To the naked eye, it generally appears brown. The creosote, often called creosote oil, consists almost wholly of aromatic hydrocarbons with some amount of base and acid and other neutral oils. Okay, next, a waterborne preservative. These are used in impregnation of mine probes, domestic buildings, food containers, and cooling towers. It is preferred for structural elements which are not to be painted and do not have any odor. Concentration of the solution is about to 5. Okay, next, boric acid. Okay, the boric acid is a very weak acid with the formula H3BO3. Boric acid, aka boracic acid, or etaboric acid, frequently used a mild antiseptic in the medical field. As a chemical compound, boric acid acts as a tribasic acid. However, because it is dissociated to such a small extent, it is a very weak acid that is actually used in water solution as an eye wash. Pure boric acid is a colorless, odorless, white powder or transparent crystal with a slightly oily filling that slowly decompose with a head at about 314 F and 171 Celsius. Okay, borax, also known as a sodium borate, sodium borate decahydrate or sodium tetaborate decahydrate is a hydrate salt of boric acid, commonly available in powder or granular form. It is dissolved in water to make a basic aqueous solution. It is soluble and has many industrial and household applications as a component in the wide range of products. Applications include as a pesticide, metal soldering, glaze and enamel manufacturing, tanning of skin and hides, artificial aging of wood, as a preservative against wood fungus, analytical chemistry as a buffering agent, and pharmaceutic aid as an alkalizer. Okay, next, method of treating timber. First, a brush and spraying of timber preservative. Brushing, the simple method of applying preservative for well-seasoned timber. Oil-type preservative are applied with a good quality brush. For better result, the applied preservative should in hot condition. Multiple coats should be applied and certain time interval should be maintained between successive coats. But spraying is an effective technique than brushing. In the case preservative solution is sprayed on the surface using a spray gun, it is time saving and quite effective. Okay, is two picture, and the one was about brushing and second about spraying. Okay, next, a dipping and steeping method of timber preservation. Dipping is another type of preserving in which timber is dipped directly in the preservative solution. Hence, the solution penetrates the timber better than the case of brushing or spraying. In some cases, the steeping or wetting of timber with a preservative solution is allowed for few days or weeks, which is also quite effective process. This is a picture of the dipping and steeping method of timber preservation. Okay, next, hot and cold open tank treatment of timber. In this method, the timber is placed in an open tank which contains preservative solution. The solution is then heated for few hours at 85 to 95 degrees Celsius. Then, the solution is allowed to cool and timber get submerged with this gradual cooling. This type of treatment is generally done for softwood. Next, pressure process. And the number one, a higher degree of penetration can be obtained by forcing the preservative into the wood. And the second, timber placed inside a chamber. And the number three, air drawn out to create a vacuum. And the number four, thus the cells are completely almost empty to receive the preservative. And number five, preservative material may be creosote oil or zinc chloride. And number six, preservative pump under a pressure of 100 to 200 psi and 100 20 OF. And number 7, the excess preservative is removed by creating a low vacuum. And number 8, timber preserved by this method are used in piles in saltish water, poles and slippers. And the last is delugging. This is a treatment for sound timber. Organic solvent preservative is flooded over the wood surface while the timber is passing slowly through a short tunnel. That's all from me, and Assalamualaikum. Bye.